Hey everybody, welcome to Blue Collar Real Estate. I'm Greg Mayo.
And I'm Ryan Herget.
We got a lot to get to today, Ryan.
We do. You've been gone for like a week.
Oh, dude, and I'm so freaking tired. But we're going to talk about some stuff today. However, before we get into all this, I need you to subscribe, rate, and review the page. As always, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Today's episode brought to you by Mortimer's Veterinary Clinic and Taxidermy Shop. If we can't fix Fluffy, we'll stuff her.
Oh, man, I got nothing today.
Well, I was hunting this week.
You were hunting this week. Did you catch anything good?
I didn't catch anything. I shot it.
You shot it?
Shot some pheasant, which is funny because my oldest son told my youngest son when we got back that I only wounded it. And the picture with me holding it like this.
You got it.
You
wrestled it down at the end, did you?
That's what he told my 17-year-old, that I choked it out, which I thought was fantastic.
That's a better story there. So today, though, shifting onto the serious side of things, we're going to talk about contractors, the relationship between contractors, agents, and the customers you're going through the experience. And then we're also going to dive in. I'm really excited about this, and I know you're really, really passionate about this as much as I am, and that is opportunities within the trades fields.
Dude, heck yes.
So let's talk about that.
Well, let me just start. God, suddenly I'm Porky Pig. Let's start, if I can, by talking about the trades in and of themselves.
Okay, where do you want to start? And when you say trades, let's just bring everybody that may not be familiar with that up to speed. We're generally speaking to a lot of real estate people here. So when you say trades, what's that mean? Break it down like a third grader to me.
Well, so it means I got to eat paste while I'm doing it?
Well, I mean, ideally. I don't think we have any here, though.
So when we talk about trades in this context, we're talking about the building trades, right?
Okay.
We're talking about carpenters, electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, welders in some cases. And there are all kinds of other skilled trades out there. A skilled trade would be loosely defined as a trade that doesn't require college but requires some kind of training.
Sure. Or
an apprenticeship. But given that our entire lives are about houses, it seems like, we're going to kind of hone in on the building trades.
No, I think that's important. And one of the areas, just to kind of share with everybody before we get started here, and why this is so important to Greg and I, is because when was the last time you needed something done on your house? Okay, and then you called somebody, and then did that person show up on time? Did that person do what they said they were going to do? And one of the reasons why maybe the answer is no to both of those is because there is truly not enough people to do the work. There's actually just simply not enough people if you need your roof fixed to get that done, get it done promptly. And there's great companies out there, of course, but there is such an abundance of need of people to actually do the work that for people that don't know, you don't need to go to college for 4 years like you just said here in order to do this. You can go learn a couple things in 6 months or 9 months or a year, and you're ready to make some real money right now.
Exactly. And let's back up for a second. Right now, there are approximately 6.5 million skilled trade jobs in this country unfilled.
Yeah.
So you ask the question, why is that? Well, you start with my generation, and in the 80s, that's when we really started hearing that you have to go to college and get a 4-year degree.
Sure.
And by now, almost all the kids out there believe that's the case. Mm-hmm. I got to go get a degree so I can make a nice living. And it's just not true. You can go get a degree in underwater dance theory and have $50,000 in debt and student loans from doing that. And a lot of people do, apparently, because we have over $1 trillion in student loan debt in this country.
Right.
Meanwhile, we've got a shortage in the trades. There was a time, and this is why I love old houses, not to plug that, but there was a time when a craftsperson, a tradesman, was held in the same regard as a teacher, as clergy.
Certainly.
Because of the value that they brought, because of the skill that they had. And we've kind of, as Mike Rowe says, we've kind of fallen out of love with the trades. Mm-hmm. Whereas you can come out of school, you can go into a union apprenticeship program, or you can go work for a company. You know how many companies, tradespeople I talk to that say, man, if I could just find young people that wanted to work, I would teach them what I do.
Truly.
And within a matter of time, heck, if you went and became an HVAC guy now, and after a 4-year apprenticeship, you could easily be making 6 figures a year.
Without a doubt. And there's so many opportunities to make money without even just being the one who does the work as well, but being around the industry. I'm going to share my story real quick, but I got into the trades field in 2009, and this was completely by accident. The real estate market was in the tank, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and moved back from Las Vegas, and I go to work for this roofing company thinking I'm going to be here a week or two, and then something better is going to come along. And I found that the skills I had learned in real estate from a sales perspective and understanding how to build value, understanding how to ask questions, understanding how to do what I say I'm going to do and return somebody's phone call and call them back 2 or 3 times if they don't answer, and actually just employing the fundamental principles of sales to the trades industry, I was able to make over 6 figures within 2 years of doing it, not knowing anything about that industry to start with, and I damn near made 6 figures my first year doing it. Just fell a touch shy. And so that's what I love and I'm so passionate about this for, is because it's truly an opportunity for people to learn a new skill and do something that is truly going to help and impact somebody's life. And when was the last time you boasted about somebody that just redid this bathroom? You literally share that name with everybody that's out there on social media, and that person has more work to do than they can possibly get done because everybody's excited about it, right or wrong.
Well, absolutely. And when I was still a contractor full time, my wife was involved in a group of moms around Indy that got together, and I won't say their name because they're not sponsors of the show yet. And you know who I'm talking to. But I started getting passed around that group to do remodeling work and this and that. One of them was an interior designer. She had clients that would pay me my handyman rate to come and hang pictures. But my point is, I got to the point with that group of people because everybody talked about the work I did after I did it, where the last kitchen I did, I told the lady, I'm 10 weeks out before I can get started. And she said, okay, I'll wait.
Yep.
The other thing that I found out when I was in the trades is that there's such a shortage of people skilled to do the work right now, and that you end up trying to call 8-10 different people. Maybe you get one to show up because everybody's so busy. The prices are getting higher, for hiring a skilled tradesperson because they're so busy. They can command the money. So, which we'll get into why that's important for realtors and if you're buying or selling a home in a minute.
Yeah. Because
it is important to have someone skilled, to have someone that knows what they're doing in tinkering on your house, whether it's preparing it for sale. We had a client who had brought in a contractor that they found, I don't know who this dude was, to fix some floor joist in the crawl space.
Yep.
When the inspection came back from the buyers that came to buy my listing house, they found that basically every bit of work he did on those joists was wrong and did not meet code. So not only did they waste the money and time having it done, they had to have it redone.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do because I don't like crawl spaces. But so again, the thing is, we're short on people. We're short on people that can do the trades, and so that puts the tradesperson that you do get a hold of, their time and their knowledge at a premium, and it has great value, and it shouldn't be wasted.
And I think that's something that kind of transitioning to how does this all tie together when it pertains to buying a house is that you have to respect the fact that if you want the job done right, you're not going to get the cheapest guy to do it. You're not going to get it done tomorrow if you want it done right. It goes back to something we talked about a few weeks ago, and that's you don't get cheap, good, and fast.
The Herget triangle.
You don't get all three of those in one trifecta. You get to pick two of those. And you have to take the time to plan out in advance. You have to take the time to respect what that contractor can even do for you. Don't just say, oh, yeah, I want to put a new roof on this, and I'm thinking about it sometime in 3 or 4 years. No, just order an Eagle View, get a number, and send it to that contractor, and don't waste anybody's time that way. Don't have them come out and spend 3 hours of their life, and then you just ghost them. That's the thing that I find that a lot of real estate agents do and that a lot of consumers do. They're not respecting the time of these contractors because they're just they're just contractors. But these guys are the ones who are doing the work. These are the ones, guys getting on your roof or getting in that crawl space, the stuff that you don't want to do to get this stuff done right. And you have to respect that. So know what questions you need to ask in advance. Do your homework in advance, and don't just say, yeah, but my other buddy who hasn't done this before can do it for cheaper. That's not a fair comparison.
Well, and that's something that you run into a lot. And I always tell people when we're walking through houses that say they're fully remodeled, one of my biggest taglines is, oh, look, somebody's cousin was laid off and they must have put this water heater in because it looked like somebody did it with their elbows. Now, with an electric water heater, there are 3 things to connect, right? Okay, so theoretically anybody could do it, but not do it right. And the other thing I like to say all the time, and a lot of tradespeople say, is I don't need practice doing estimates.
Right.
If you're not serious, and when I first got in the business, and I told you this before, when I first got into the contracting business, I didn't understand real estate agents and how they worked. And I would go do an estimate or for an investor or whatever, and I spent a lot of time sometimes doing scale drawings, doing whatever, only to have them just ghost me, like you said.
Because here's what a real estate agent loves to do is, and I can't say that I'm not this person sometimes, is I have a problem with an inspection, right, that has 14 line items of things wrong with this house. Because an inspector's job is to point out everything that's not perfect,
right?
Everything that doesn't meet today's building code. Even though the home was built in 74, it's not going to meet 2019 building code, right? Well, then they present this report, and now everybody's freaked out. Okay, now everybody's freaked out. And me as an agent, the easiest thing for me to do is say, hey, Mr. Contractor, I'm going to forward you this inspection report, and maybe I'll meet you over there. And then can you spend a day and a half getting quotes and figuring out what all this stuff is going to cost me, such as the chimney getting done, the electrical items getting fixed. Oh, I've got a little plumbing problem that needs addressed. Oh, and then I've got a roof leak that needs done. You're going to call on all of your 5 people to get that quote done. And then the agent doesn't call anybody back, nor let the contractor know oftentimes that, oh, yeah, we just dropped the price and everybody's happy now.
Well, and I'll be honest, because of that kind of stuff happening, I quit doing estimates for real estate agents before I became a real estate agent. And then once I understood how they operated, I really quit.
Well, but I think, not to point out a problem without providing a solution here, and that is that I feel that, if you're a consumer, if you're a contractor and you're a real estate agent, it's all about just having a very transparent and real conversation up front. If I'm going to call a contractor today, and I can think of 3 HVAC guys as an example because I'm going through this right now on a property, I'm going to call them and I'm going to give them a very transparent story as to what's really going on and what I need. And I'm going to let them know, hey, there's a really good chance this isn't going to go anywhere, so I need a ballpark-ish. Give me a bracket. It's going to be $6 to $7 grand. I know you're not going to take the time to drive up to Westfield, Indiana from where your office is, drive back down, get a quote together for me. That's not respectful of their time. And that's an example of how you can solve the problem, is just simply be transparent and real with people before you get started with this. And that happens by just grabbing a cup of coffee with somebody and saying, hey, dude, here's how I work. How do you work? How can we make it work together?
Right.
Make sense?
That communication is absolutely essential, and unfortunately doesn't happen as much as it probably should. All my subs know. All the guys I use know. My HVAC guy, plumber, electrician. If I call and say, hey, dude, real quick, down and dirty. If they hear down and dirty coming out of my mouth, they know I'm going to do what you just said.
Yep.
I'm going to give you a brief scenario. Give me an idea.
Yep. I think that's what people need, not to interrupt, but I think people just need guidance, because if people have never had to have a septic system pumped before, how much does that cost? Do you have any idea what a company charges to pump a septic? I'm just using this as an example. And then what's the stuff that can go wrong once they open that up and they start pumping? Because that's the stuff you don't know about, and you have to take your time as a real estate professional and as a consumer to understand all of those perspectives, to appreciate that dude's time. So that way when he comes back and says it's going to be $395, you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
And if you respect that trade person's time, then they will respect you.
Absolutely. And
they will trust you. That's how you, like you talked about grabbing a cup of coffee, that's part of that building that relationship. Now, and the way that trickles down, if your contractor trusts you and respects you as a realtor, then they're going to respect your clients. And then they're going to be there when you need them to actually do the work.
Yeah. And that's so pivotal is I cannot tell you how many times, we get through an inspection, we get through closing, and clients like, well, yeah, we'll take care of that stuff after we move in, with people that maybe I've connected them with or not in sometimes. But if that still doesn't happen, that's a reflection on you as a real estate agent as well. And I'm always asking myself within my business, how can I always be finding new ways to provide value to my client? Because that's why they're going to continue to come back to me. That's why they're going to continue to use me. And if I set them up with a bunch of, jackasses, excuse my language, that don't do what they say they're going to do or call them back, or better yet, do the job and then it's done poorly, man, I'm getting that phone call. And I don't want that phone call. I want my clients to be happy, so that way they're excited to tell all of their friends about me. And having amazing relationships with good contractors that do all of those things, what they say they're going to do, when they say they're going to do it, man, everybody's happy, everybody wins, and everybody's talking about it, which means everybody gets more money.
Well, and you and I have talked about being a concierge for our clients, right? Buyers and sellers, and that is a part of that. You go into a city and you talk to a concierge at the hotel, and that dude's the hub.
Yep.
He knows everything about everything. You want to go to a great bourbon bar, he knows where it's at, how to get there, and he's already got the car on the phone before. That's what we need to be to clients. And the only way we can do that is by having relationships with contractors that actually do what they say they're going to do and do it well.
I agree.
I always use the example, my HVAC guy, I trust him. I trust him implicitly. Not only has he done work on jobs for me for a long time, but I trust him so much, I send him to my mom's house when her furnace jacks up. That's the kind of people we need under us on all different layers. I have a house cleaner, who does an amazing job. She uses some product that smells amazing for like days. She won't tell me what it is. But when I have a listing that needs to be cleaned, or a buyer just closed and the house is filthy and they don't have time to clean it, I call her. I don't shop 20 different bids because we have a relationship. I know she's going to do an amazing job and take care of my people.
Yep.
And then I don't get that phone call you're talking about.
Yep. And that's when everybody wins, which is the goal with, why we're talking about this is how do you create the awareness and, create the right environment for everybody to walk away and be successful. I posted a video last week. We had a closing. You're actually going to do some work for this gentleman. You're going to knock a wall out for him and raise the ceiling in the kitchen for him. And throughout this entire process, he bought a home that he knew was going to need some work, and he leaned on us heavily. He leaned on us heavily with our expertise on, okay, who are the people that can help me do this? Who are the contractors that can help fix some of the items that were wrong with this house? Because there wasn't a small list. There was a pretty good amount of things that needed done to this house, and he leaned on us heavily, and this dude is so excited. And here was the other nice part of this equation is the other agent on the other side of this was that consummate professional who also had those relationships with contractors, who also managed her clients really well. And at the end of the day, everybody was exceedingly happy. It was an amazing closing experience, and everybody won because everybody respected the contractors that were involved. The clients were working directly with the agents and the contractors all at the same time, so that way everybody's aware of what's going on because we all had the same goal.
Right, and that communication in our industry is absolutely essential, especially when you get that many moving parts.
It is, because if you think you've got 3 or 4 different tradespeople that need to come out and get something done to get a house closed, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of phone calls. That's a lot of relationships that need to be established in order to get that inspection stuff done. We're not only talking about inspection stuff, but it's pretty common in real estate. But in order to get that stuff done, you've got to have the right team of people in place. Otherwise, homes don't close on time. Clients are frustrated. They think that they're getting ripped off, and maybe they are. There's just so much negativity that happens when that communication is not firmly established in the beginning.
And that's an ongoing process. This week, I'm going to be meeting with some different tradespeople that do different stuff that I don't do, just because I want to get a bigger stable of folks I can deal with. My son out west, he's a general contractor too.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I know, isn't that weird?
It really blows me away.
I got, 4 kids. One's a general contractor, one is a foreman for a foundation company, one's an auto mechanic, and the other one's still in high school. It's weird. They like the trades.
It's weird, really weird.
Anyway, the kid is brilliant, and he has gone out, and days when he doesn't have a lot going on or he's not on a job site, he drives around job sites. And if he sees work that he likes, he stops and talks to him. Hey, you guys do siding. Man, you're doing a great job. Give me a card. What do you charge a square? And he has those conversations and immediately builds those relationships. And the other big thing, and this cannot be stated enough, well, let me back up with a little bit of a story. When I was a contractor sales rep at a lumber company, back when there were actual more lumber yards around, I went to a custom home builder, very well respected in the Indianapolis area, especially Hendricks County. He was about ready to retire, and I was sitting in his office talking to him about a house we were supplying. And I said, let me ask you something. When you got started, how did you get the right guys? And he said, well, it's real simple. When I started, every sub I had, as soon as they were done, I paid them. If that meant my truck payment was late, I didn't care. I paid them. He said, I built that relationship. Number one, I immediately had their respect. he said, now you fast forward a few years. When I call one of my subs, he said, I don't care what they're doing, and it doesn't matter what they're doing. They jump, and they come take care of me.
That's everything.
So that's the other thing, not stringing them out on their money. If they did the job that they were asked to, if they did a good job for you, you pay them, and then next time you need them, they're available. Because that's huge. They're not doing it for free, right?
That's just it. And everybody wants to have a buddy that'll come over and do it for a case of beer, but that's just simply not the case oftentimes. And you need to have good people that can get work done and get it done on time. So that way, again, not to keep repeating myself, but that way everybody just wins. I mean, who wants to fill their life full of stress and anxiety by dealing with a bunch of people that don't get it done right? Just get it done right the first time, then you get to move on and solve bigger problems in your life. So.
Yeah, and the difference between walking away from a closing where you had to close in separate rooms, buyer and seller, and you grudgingly shook the other agent's hand, and you put them on your don't deal with list and all that stuff. The difference between that and walking away from a house like we're talking about, there's inspection issues, there was stuff that had to be fixed, everybody worked together, everybody's happy, and you just about get up from the closing table and sit around a fire singing Kumbaya and holding hands because it was such an amazing experience.
That's fun.
Know?
That's what it's about. That's what everybody in my mind that goes through this process of buying a home, whether they're building a new one, whether they're rehabbing one, or they're just buying a regular one that's out there, it should be enjoyable because it's a memory. This is where you're raising your family. This is where you're creating your life at, and it should be an enjoyable process, not a complete train wreck and disaster. And it doesn't have to be as long as you just follow the appropriate steps.
Side note, I don't know. Are we still rolling? I don't know if I can say this. Well, I'll just say it. I'm taking a client and his fiance to look at a new home community this afternoon.
I'm so proud of you. Proud of you.
It feels weird.
Coming over to the dark side.
Probably going to have to tuck my shirt in and stuff like that. But anyway.
I don't know that I'd go that far. But let's put a cherry on this one. I think there's been a lot of good information shared, and I think all of it can pretty much be summed up as work together, understand who are the people that you're working with, and then also if you're maybe looking for other opportunities, man, the trades business is booming right now. All you have to do is look around you, and it is amazing the opportunities that exist there, and I could not be a bigger supporter of people that do that kind of work because I've been in that field as well. I highly respect it, and there's so much opportunity to make kind of money you want and make a difference.
And let me just, without beating it to death, let me just say, if you're interested in getting into the trades, if you think that's something you'd enjoy, something you'd be good at, whatever, all you got to do is Google. You can Google anything anymore, but there are all kinds of opportunities. Mike Rowe and the Mike Rowe Foundation offer they call it a work ethic scholarship. Mm-hmm. You sign this pledge, which means I'm not going to be a putz. I'm actually going to bust my hump, and they'll pay for your trade school. This Old House, the only home improvement show on TV, they have started within the last couple of years something called Generation Next, where they're trying to encourage people and have programs to get young people in the trades. And the last thing I'm going to say, and I could go on for the next 45 minutes about trades and trades education, but, one thing, bring back shop class. But number two,
I agree.
If the trades are something you're interested in, if that's something you think would be a good fit for you, I would encourage you to dig in and find the opportunity. All I ever wanted to do was build houses and write stuff, right? And I got sidetracked, and that's a story for another time. But the point is, let's say you're into underwater dance theory. You can still study that on your own, but go make a living and support yourself.
You got it. And
it's not just back-breaking work and humping. There's a lot of brain work involved. There's a lot of creativity. Every craftsman's an artist.
And there's a lot of working with people. I can't tell you how many people that I work with in real estate that say, I'm a great people person. I love working with people. I love making people happy. You get to do the exact same thing in that field as well.
Absolutely.
You absolutely get to have the exact same conversations, fill a different need than helping somebody move per se, but you get to create something in that home for them oftentimes. And and in my mind, that's what it's all about.
Right on.
Cool. Well, that's it for today, Greg. If anybody has any questions, where should they reach out to you at, man?
Greg Sells Naptown.
Greg Sells Naptown. Do it. And if I can do anything for you, have any questions about the real estate industry at all, visit me at ryanherget.com. Love to have a 15-minute conversation to see if there's anything we can do to help and support you throughout your real estate business and or sales career. That's all we got today, Greg.
Well, for Blue Collar Real Estate, I'm Greg Mayo.
And I'm Ryan Herget. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, review, all of that stuff that Greg usually says. Make sure that you do all that, and we appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
Have a great day.